We are going to be looking at Grixis. I'm still trying to figure out the name of this. I'm thinking like treasure-crusted hyper lobsters, or maybe Omni-Lobsters, something like that. Something in that vein. But essentially, Hullbreaker Horror is a really good card when you have a turn for Unexpected Windfall, and now we have double the number of turn for Unexpected Windfalls. It's also very good to cast Unexpected Windfall when you have a Hullbreaker Horror and Goldspan Dragon in play, because it's 0 mana bounce something. And Goldspan makes Galvanic Iteration plus Unexpected Windfall into a draw 3 ritual that actively nets you mana. So, feels like there's synergies going on here. The main thing this deck gets from Grixis, as far as I can see, is better sideboard spells against aggro, and I'm interested in whether or not Tainted Indulgence is sort of an upgrade over Expressive Iteration for this style of deck. Instant speed's a huge deal. I don't know how reliably this is ever going to not discard a card, but it actually plays nicely with Galvanic Iteration, which is an improvement, and allows you to trigger Hullbreaker Horror, and is actually playable on turn 2. So, like, there's stuff going on here. And now I need to actually figure out what to cut to put probably 4 Triomes in, because I did forget that Triomes existed when I built this mana base. But I'll do that in a sec. Okay, well, we're on the draw, but we have a mana base that lets us cast Unexpected Windfall. So we're going to cast Unexpected Windfall. I believe... Ooh, Sundown Pass makes me kind of want to hold on to Spikefield Hazard, so I guess we're leading on Jwari Disruption. Okay. I was not expecting Dragonkin Berserker, but alright. No 3-drop opponent? Okay. 3-drop now? No? Oh, that's weird. I don't know what my opponent's doing. Still don't know what my opponent's doing. But if they don't want to do anything, that's fine with me. Yeah, so now they make a 5/5 dragon, which is oddly challenging for me to deal with. Let's find one of our 4 unsummons. Hullbreaker Horror, failing that, I suppose, is fine? Okay. I wonder how I want to sequence this. I can either Galvanic Big Score or Hullbreaker Horror. Goldspan's annoying. They're going to have 3 mana, which could be a removal spell. I could Syncopate this Goldspan for 2. So Galvanic, Big Score, have 5 treasures, use 3 of them to Syncopate for 2, take 7. I could take a gamble and hope they just wind up making a dragon token, but I don't think that I have enough mana if I play Hullbreaker Horror and do all of that. Maybe I hit like a Fading Hope here and don't actually have to Syncopate? Okay. Fading Hope is interesting. Do I let the Goldspan attack? Do I even Fading Hope the 5/5 if I'm allowing the Goldspan to attack? I probably still do. I mean, maybe I just Fading Hope this 5/5 and Syncopate the Goldspan and just take things a tiny bit slower. I do want an untapped land. Alright. Oh. Really? Okay. Well, what am I supposed to do against this? What's my opponent actually doing? I'm gonna just ship it. Yeah, so to answer the question in chat, I'm not a super huge fan of playing cards that are only good when you're in Goldspan on the board territory, because if you have a Goldspan in play, you're kind of already fine, and there's a very limited number of spaces that you get to use for interaction to help you reach that point of the game that I would rather just use all available extra slots to play interactive spells that help me get to that stage, rather than stuff that's good when I'm at that stage already. I think this is probably too many payoffs to keep. This hand is not great, but okay. We will top deck some lands, I believe. The Xander's Lounge is helping out this hand's mana issues significantly. I should have played the Spikefield. I don't actually want to Spikefield this Magda, do I? Maybe I do if I'm going to make this next land drop anyway. Tainted Indulgence, absolutely 1,000,000% not. Yeah, okay. They do not play the Magda anyway, which makes this easier. Ooh. Okay, opponent. How much treasury stuff do you have? Do you want to keep the Magda? Nope. Ooh, Voltage Surge. That's surprising. They saw 0 creatures out of me. Professional Facebreaker. Okay. We're in combat, right? Yes. Okay. We're gonna get rid of that. I would rather find an untapped land than another whatever I just scried to the bottom. Fading Hope. Perfect. Good work, deck. Luminarch Aspirant. Very well. Is that it? Okay, well, let's get rid of the Syncopate. See if we find something. Do I want to Spikefield a Luminarch Aspirant? Tempting, tempting, tempting. Probably. Oh, okay. Well, they didn't get the counter from the Aspirant, which is, I guess, cool. Would I rather try to block with Goldspan Dragon, knowing that I can't actually do that because they can copy a Luminarch Aspirant? I don't think that I'm supposed to attempt to. Well, this is certainly a lot of damage. That's going to be an issue. I love the fact that they didn't copy the Goldspan Dragon. Syncopate's not helpful. What does Tainted Indulgence find? Nothing. Okay. Well, somehow we went from not having any lands to not being able to do anything because we had too many lands. Oops. Alright, I think I want fewer Goldspans and more Liers against this deck, if I had to guess. I think they didn't try to make a copy of the Goldspan, probably to try to play around me removing the Goldspan in response to the activation. I suspect that's reasonable. Okay. This hand's pretty fine. I have to make some odd choices if I want a Tainted Indulgence on turn 2 or if I want a Spikefield on turn 2. That's definitely a pretty harsh constraint that this mana base has going on. I think I'm not supposed to try to Tainted Indulgence on turn 2. Okay, love my opponent not doing anything. I think I want to hold up Tainted Indulgence here. Okay, we can get rid of a Xander's Lounge, easy peasy. Tainted Indulgence to see what type of removal we should probably hold up. Yeah, I can still get rid of more Xander's Lounges here. Fading Hope the Shaman. More Tainted Indulgence. I don't believe I need that at the moment. Alright, our opponent's deck doesn't seem to have a lot of highly impactful 4-drops. Yes, that is not a highly impactful 4-drop. Could try to throw a Goldspan Dragon into that. Could also just deploy a Lier. Probably better off just playing Big Score, which makes not playing the Spikefield Hazard a mistake. Because I'm probably going to throw away a Lier here. It blocks the dragon, yeah. But I'm not even entirely sure playing Goldspan Dragon that turn was correct anyway. Oh, I was supposed to discard Lier. Whoops. There's a Fading Hope. That's good to see. It's probably worth bouncing an Angel and getting in with Goldspan, holding up the Syncopate now. Yeah, wish I was making a land drop instead of having a second Lier in hand. But, oh well. Yeah, let's hold up Syncopate. If my opponent plays Legion Angel... yeah, that kind of bites. I definitely want to counter the Wandering Emperor. It costs me so much mana. Luckily, I doubt that it matters. Ooh, Lobster's cool. Okay. Let's see about winning with Goldspan Dragon from here. Am I supposed to pay with a treasure for Lier so that I can play Fading Hope and Spikefield? I think I probably am. This looks kind of weird, but having the flexibility to play one spell in one phase and another spell in another phase, rather than being forced to use floating mana from cracking a treasure both in the same phase, I think is worth just losing out on a treasure. Because I'm guaranteed to spend the mana on their turn to stop myself from dying anyway. So, like, there is no benefit to holding on to the treasure in this position, meaning that the flexibility is just kind of strictly correct. I can also, like, Spikefield my Goldspan Dragon with the red and then cast Fading Hope with the blue is another line that might be relevant here. So none of that was turbo Hullbreaker-y stuff, but I guess Goldspan Dragon and Lier are still good. Alright, we have Lobster, we have Windfall, we have 4 mana. This is the plan. Are we on the play? I would love to be on the play. Not enough red mana? I do have enough red mana. I have Pathway and the Spikefield. It's very confusing with it being like the blue forward, though. Okay. I don't believe I can afford to hold on to this Jwari Ruins at the moment. Kessig Naturalist is rude. Let's stop it from turning to night. Oh, alright. Thank you, Flame Blessed Bolt. Good timing. How have the black cards performed so far in this blue-red shell? So, most of the black cards that I included, other than Tainted Indulgence, which has felt solid, are sideboard cards, and we have not yet run into the relevant matchups for those. Let's see. I believe I'm supposed to stop it from turning to night. What am I discarding to do that? We'll probably find a land drop in the next 3 draws, right? Maybe not. I do like Goldspan Dragon, though. Goldspan Dragon's cool. How about you just, like, play Chariot or something else that doesn't matter, opponent, and then I hit an untapped land? Cool. Perfect. Good work, deck. Now, I could play Goldspan Dragon and attack with Goldspan Dragon. Yeah, I'm probably supposed to do that. Then I can Galvanic big score if I need to. My opponent's likely to have the Jund Charm spell, which is actually a pretty good answer to Goldspan Dragon, unfortunately. But maybe not. Maybe they won't have that. Or better yet, maybe they'll use a removal spell that targets Goldspan Dragon, so I get an 8th or a 4th treasure, and then I get to cast... I guess I need to discard something to big score, so unless I want to discard the Hullbreaker, I can't Galvanic big score. Sad. Nyxlis, the adversary. Interesting. I believe I am probably supposed to big score in response to this. Alright. Draw 3 ritual achieved. Fading Hope's cool. Yeah. This is gonna leave up blue mana, right? I think this is gonna leave up blue mana. Play a lobster. Bounce a treasure. I was actually going to... So I was going to bounce the Goblin Shaman and bounce the treasure here. I was debating if I was going to bounce the Obnixilis. Oh, I can't bounce the copy while it's on the stack. If I want to bounce the Obnixilis copy, I can let the Obnixilis trigger resolve so that the token copy of Obnixilis is in play, and I get a chance to respond before they can activate it. But in this case, I think I didn't care about Obnixilis at all. I just wanted to bounce the ability to make a treasure and this treasure here so that they couldn't charm me. Technically, we're still in their main phase, so they could float the treasure mana and play an untapped land and Jund Charm me. But I think that if they had Jund Charm, they would have played that rather than the Obnixilis. So I wasn't putting them on that. And I need to get rid of this treasure token, otherwise when the Asika's Chariot attacks, it can make a copy of the treasure token. Technically, if my read is them not having Jund Charm, then this doesn't make a difference. But, like, I don't know, that's the only threat. But I'm not actually playing around it. I don't know, maybe this was wrong? Maybe I was supposed to bounce the Chariot then. Did I review the Alchemy rebalancing? I have not. There weren't what looked like super many significant changes to my eyes. Oh, Painful Bond actually being a nerf, yeah. I haven't played enough Alchemy lately to know how significant Painful Bond was in the meta, because I don't really know the Alchemy meta. It'll probably make food worse in Historic, if I had to guess. Outland Liberator? Oh no. Does that do anything to me? I guess I have to stop it from flipping to Night, which is annoying. I don't need more lands, thank you. From a person who loves the Horror, what are your thoughts on using it for competitive standard? Horror is a card whose role in the metagame is basically defined by how much removal is positioned against it. And I don't know the answer to that yet. Spikefield? No. Still don't know if I'm supposed to hold on to Tainted Indulgence or not. I assume I'm probably throwing it away to my land next turn anyway. Doing this sorcery speed because I don't want it to be night, on the off chance my opponent's playing Stormseeker. I played the land on black so that I could cast the Tainted Indulgence while holding up all 3 colors of mana, which might matter if I drew Spikefield Hazard or if I drew Fading Hope, or both. The mana with this deck has not been terribly problematic. Oh, they do play Stormseeker. I gotta say, I've seen a lot of Jund decks playing Obnixilis. I have not yet seen Obnixilis be better than Disdainful Stroke. Is Verse just the best removal in Standard? No. I don't know if I even consider Verse to be particularly good removal in Standard right now. Alright, we're definitely playing things at sorcery speed. Can I get rid of Spikefield Hazard? I probably can't, because my opponent has a Stormseeker in play. So I might need to Spikefield something here. Reflection getting haste with Stormseeker and then making a copy of Naturalist can, I guess, not really net anything because it's not Night. So there isn't a Kessig Naturalist Anthem effect. An attack with everything. So if they just hold up Jund Charm here, I'm probably in trouble. I'm probably in trouble no matter what, to be entirely honest. Verse hitting Chariot isn't actually good. Like, a lot of things kill Chariot badly. The reason Chariot is strong is because using a 1-for-1 removal spell on it isn't good. No, my Galvanic Iteration... Well, actually, my big score, huh? Okay, yeah. Now I'm in trouble. What do you mean by Ob being better than Stroke? I mean, Obnixilis so far does not seem to do very much. Does not do enough to justify including it over Disdainful Stroke, and playing black instead of blue is a choice you are making that puts Obnixilis over having access to Disdainful Stroke. So, my opponent didn't leave up Jund... Well, I guess they did leave up Jund Charm. But for the most part, I can play Goldspan Dragon, have a blocker for Stormseeker, have Spikefield, dead. Okay. Shalt not get there. This is one matchup where I think that Burn Down the House would be nice to have. I wonder if it's also a matchup where I'm supposed to have Sedgemoor Witch, actually. I could try that. Cut 2 Syncopates, cut a Hullbreaker, play some Sedgemoor Witch. They do get kind of annoyed by chump blockers. Not much is going to answer Ob for 2 mana. The comparison with Disdainful Stroke isn't that it counters Ob. It's just that I think it's a better card for those decks to have as far as closing out games go. Do you think Battle of Frost and Fire has a niche since it deals with Ob? I think it's worse than Burn Down the House generally always. Burn Down the House having synergy with Lier and Galvanic and not missing anything is nice. Although I don't think that there's much in the way of stuff with creature types that Battle of Frost and Fire actually misses. It doesn't hit giants, right? Or am I thinking of something else? Anyway, we're going to mulligan hands that don't have lands. We're going to keep hands that have lands. Do I want to keep Fading Hope over Tainted Indulgence? Yeah, probably. Thanks, Coramel. I'm digging the haircut, too. Duress! No, my big score. This is where the mulligan keeping the Fading Hope hurts. Mulliganing it all against black decks can be pretty difficult, especially if they have Go Blank. These Izzet decks rely a lot on having access to their graveyard as how they functionally have card advantage. Yeah, second Duress hurts a lot. We just don't function very well on low resources. Are we at a point where Orbar is relevant? I don't think so. It's good against Ob, but a lot of things are good against Ob. Expressive Iteration is a good card in the right circumstances. But I think this deck gains a lot from whatchamacallit? Tainted Indulgence being instant speed. Thanks, Danger Suck. I tried Glasspool Mimic on Atsushi. I have not tried Atsushi in the... Okay. In any of my Glasspool Mimic decks, but that does seem like an interesting option. Alright, well, let's go ahead and Goldspan Dragon then. I think I might not be playing these lands. In the interest of having more spells that I can play with Hullbreaker Horror. Okay. All right. I'm not entirely sure if I accomplished anything, but I guess Goldspan Dragon was a lot more valuable there than most other cards would have been. I would almost be tempted to keep this hand if one of these lands was red. Unfortunately, I don't think I can keep it with a double blue. This hand, however, I am fan of. We will draw another Hullbreaker Horror, so we can put that one in the bottom. Well, I didn't lie. Alright, you gonna play Chariot so I can syncopate it? No? Alright, Helena is also syncopatable, so works for me. Alright, well, I'm out of interaction, so I need my opponent to not do anything for the next turn or two. Alright, Fable of the Mirror Breaker is something, but something could be worse. We have definitely started to draw slightly more top end than I would like, and maybe that means we're supposed to, like, trim a Hullbreaker Horror, which is, you know, disappointing, but possibly correct. Alright, Pony, you got a lot of mana. What are you gonna do with it? Workshop War Chief. Oh no! Pony, you wouldn't have a removal spell ever, or the capacity to kill me, right? I think if they don't kill me or my Goldspan Dragon here, I'm pretty happy. Alright, down to 7. What cards you got in hand, opponent? Nothing's not gonna do it. Think I should be fine here. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. Basically have total control of the board. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. I love 0 mana spells with Hullbreaker Horror that also are cantrips. Yeah, that was legitimately what I was a little worried of. Oh, okay. Never mind. Not a problem. Okay, well, you're not gonna kill me, right, opponent? You are not gonna kill me. Okay. So kindly don't have Jund Charm again one more time, and everything will be fine. Opponent casts War Chief with haste. Very well. If they go to make a copy of War Chief before they attack, I will bounce the War Chief before they attack. So they should actually attack first and not kiki-jiki anything. But also I just, like, have infinity mana and the ability to cast infinity spells. So, like, mostly this is totally fine and I can't possibly lose. Alright, Bouncy the Goblin. Cast Big Score copied. Opponent concedes. Draw 4. Ooh, alright. Slightly flooding out. Let's use this mana slightly more efficiently. Since we've already got one floating, might as well sack a treasure to draw a card. Corsus, thanks for the follow. Glad you're enjoying the stream. Yeah, okay. I don't even get to find out what I was going to draw, but opponent. I might have flooded out and not drawn any cards that did anything at all. Helena doesn't give trample, but I guess Workshop War Chief has trample. I wonder if that's supposed to make me want Sedgemoor Witch or not want Sedgemoor Witch or something? I don't know. Let's try trimming the Hullbreaker Horror and, I don't know what. Tainted Indulgence, try 2 Sedgemoor Witches, see what happens. I wonder if I should build a Temur aggro deck at some point. Alright. I'm willing to keep a hand that has 4 lands and big score on the draw that doesn't do anything at all. That seems acceptable to me. Oh, I don't even have to discard cards because we didn't mulligan? Cool. I was getting ready to discard a Hullbreaker Horror. Ah, no, duress. Alright, opponent, you have removal spells, right? Or rather, you have things that I need to use removal spells on. Right? You didn't just keep a hand that has duress and no pressure, right? Right, opponent? I think I'm not actually going to play this Tainted Indulgence here. Maybe I'm supposed to, but I kind of think that I want to play it after Sedgemoor Witch, probably. Given that I don't have anything else to do. I mean, maybe I'm just supposed to accept getting to loot away a Hullbreaker Horror here in the interest of actually trying to find a 4-drop ramp spell. Yeah, I should play my spells. We'll draw something else to do on turn 4. Hey, we drew something else to do on turn 4. Hey, mellow LOL. Thanks for the resub. I continue to appreciate the support. Alright, now's where Helena and Elena gets kind of inconvenient, but not the end of the world. Oh, cool. I don't care about Lolth at all. Goodness gracious.
In exchange for loyalty.
Ha 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 ha. So I could Galvanic Fading Hope, get rid of spiders, and kill Lolth, and make like 3/1/1s. That's probably pretty good. Or I could just Unexpected Windfall and totally ignore my opponent's attempts to do stuff with Lolth. I'm probably supposed to be boring. I hate not casting Unexpected Windfall. Does this even matter? Whatever I draw, I'm going to discard Unexpected Windfall. I guess I want to draw Galvanic Iteration, because it's something that's actively beneficial to discard to Windfall. So I should be scrying towards Galvanic. Even though I want to play a land, it doesn't matter, because the land is what I'm going to discard to Windfall. Oh, I guess I actually do want an untapped land, huh? I don't need to Windfall next turn if I hit an untapped land. So that also makes scrying to the bottom correct. No, my Windfall! I guess that was something I could have played around by keeping the Spikefield on top. No, going for an untapped land was still better. Any good deck recommendation for someone that enjoys the dirtle of blue-black control? I mean, this deck is, well, not particularly dirtily, huh? Oh, opponent, you want to just sit there with Jun Charm held up? My go indeed. There will be no dragon playing this turn, opponent. You have successfully bluffed me. Well played. I guess maybe I'm supposed to force them to use the Jun Charm to kill my Goldspan instead of getting to draw 3? That was bad. I forgot that it's got modes. Was I supposed to leave 1/1/1 back instead of trying to clock my opponent here? Maybe. Maybe. Would have blocked Prosperous Innkeeper. Alright, well, one gets to draw a card and make a 4/4. Oh, no, they hardcast the Workshop Warchief. Oh, okay. That seems wrong. I believe that I want to continue pressuring my opponent's life total, so we will swing with Sedgemoor Witch. And I believe we hold on to Jwari Disruption because it both represents a counterspell this turn that's unlikely to matter, but might, and is a spell we can cast to bounce something with Hullbreaker Horror, like a Workshop Warchief, that, you know, doesn't make a creature when it leaves the battlefield, because it's only a dies trigger. So that's cool. Yeah, Warchief's big and has trample. That's almost inconvenient. Anyway, because we hit the untap land, I also have the ability to play Hullbreaker Horror Galvanic Iteration to bounce the Warchief, if I need to. Prosperous Innkeeper, okay, that's mostly irrelevant. Opponent knows I have Hullbreaker Horror Galvanic Iteration face up on board. If and they find an edict, they can kill my Hullbreaker Horror and prevent themselves from being dead on the backswing. This attack means they expect they can answer my Hullbreaker Horror, but they've only got 5 mana. I don't actually have to bounce the War Chief this turn. I can just hold the Galvanic to bounce the Jund Charm and block Kalain. Or actually, I can Jwari Disruption to bounce the Jund Charm. Wouldn't that be better? That's probably better, right? Slightly less mana efficient, but Galvanic Iteration has more uses? No. Okay, it is better to use Galvanic. The reason for that is that Jwari Disruption in hand lets me play Unexpected Windfall. I believe I'm probably supposed to trade with the War Chief. I don't believe letting them keep that on board is to my benefit, even if I could bounce it later. And I can. I just don't think I'm supposed to want to. Okay. Galvanic's interesting. Do I want to swing with the Goldspan Dragon? Yeah. I think clocking them continues to have value. They're going to Jund Charm me twice this turn. I'm going to Galvanic to bounce the first one. Ooh. That's pretty annoying. Oh, they can still... Okay, so I guess I let this resolve so that I'll have 2 spells to bounce the Jund Charm with. If I try to respond, it doesn't work out for me. I guess if I end up in a position where they don't do anything with the Jund Charm, and just put the Halana and Alena counters on the Rhino and pass, maybe that's bad for me? Huh. Okay. Jwari Disruption gone. We play Galvanic. Oh, it was super correct of them to take the Jwari Disruption. Right. Because otherwise I cast Galvanic from the grave on the first one and then actually Jwari Disruption the Riveteer's Charm on the second one. Oh! No, super clever. Yeah, I missed it. I forgot they could do that with the Galvanic on the stack. I might not be able to win now. Well played, opponent. That's also exactly lethal, huh? So what was I supposed to do then? Seeing as I missed that. So what do we need to draw? Tainted Indulgence? Fading Hope, huh? Oh. This is awkward. If they do this right, I can't... Well, I guess I can go to 1. Yeah, they put it on the Innkeeper. I don't think I can do this from empty-handed. Sedgemoor Witch does not do it in this position. If I had 1 more life and could block the Halana Alena there? Okay, so it has to be Tainted Indulgence. I forgot we had Lier in our deck. Okay. Fading Hope the Innkeeper. Do I want land? Might not matter. I might be big scoring regardless of what we draw. And that might not be true. I might actually be Tainted Indulgencing. What is this attack? Oh, okay. I got so freaked out there for a second thinking it had double strike and trying to figure out why on earth it would have double strike. Okay, Tainted Indulgence, draw 2. Lier. Play Goldspan for an additional blocker? Probably. Probably. There's no world in which I attack here, I don't think. Bounce Innkeeper. Oh, yes, I would absolutely love to draw a Fading Hope. Thank you, deck. Does that mean that I attack with the Goldspan Dragon to have enough mana to play Hullbreaker Horror plus Fading Hope? Oh, I can play Fading Hope twice? Oh, yes, I absolutely attack with Goldspan Dragon 1,000,000%. Alright, so despite my earlier throw, I think we still salvage this. Why not attack with Goldspan? Because having additional mana there didn't make a difference, and having the blocker potentially did if they top decked something to give haste with Helena and Elena. Okay, cool. That should mean we win. Opponent's gonna be real upset about this. I probably shouldn't be playing this Fading Hope. I should be end of turning it to remove blockers. It's not really going to matter because I have Big Score and Unexpected Windfall in my graveyard, so I can just actually bounce every creature my opponent has. After they replay everything, and then get in for lethal. Also, they don't have enough blockers. Let the record show I'm very tempted to say your go. Here you are. Nah, they didn't leave their keyboard. They hovered over some lands. Oh, you know what? Casting Fading Hope actually is a huge mistake here. My opponent could blitz Ziatora's Envoy post... Oh, no, they're 1 mana short. I messed up, but if they could blitz Ziatora's Envoy and then draw into Jund Charm... Oh, they couldn't because we're bouncing the Innkeeper. So even if they did do that and hit Jund Charm, we would still have 7 damage on the crackback. Alright. So not horrible misplays, just mostly lots of very bad ones because I didn't think enough about what I was doing. But alright. I did buy emotes. I'm trying to think. Which one? I guess it unset them at some point. I bought the pom-pom emotes. Or is it pon-pon? I'm not entirely certain. Okay. That is a professional face breaker that I do not have an answer for, unfortunately. Although my opponent had to spend a card on it, so could be worse for me. Okay, opponent doesn't do anything. I, however, have not drawn anything, which means my opponent is off to a very treasury start. Jwari Disruption's not notoriously at their best against treasure decks. Okay. So my opponent is not doing anything, which is probably good for me. Unless they are, like, a completely reactive control deck that just is gonna professional face breaker me and never tap out and just counter all my stuff, in which case I'd probably lose. I'm not sure if that's good, but it does completely destroy my particular game plan. I'm curious if our opponent had an answer if we just killed their creature. Okay, well, I guess I'm not playing anything at the end of turn here. Yeah, there does seem to be something of a flaw when it comes to playing counter spells with Professional Facebreaker. Like, my opponent can counter this and make me pay, and then I will pay. Okay. Cool. Good talk. Alright, we'll give her to Jwari Disruption and hold on to Syncopate, even though I'm not entirely convinced that's actually the right move. I gotta imagine my opponent is playing Goldspan Dragons, right? Maybe not. Okay, Tezzeret with a bunch of treasures is moderately inconvenient, but I mean, I guess I can still Fading Hope one of them anyway.
I have no reservations about cutting down
okay.
your position. I need results. Keep working.
So, Fading Hope the Facebreaker and then cast Tainted Indulgence, I think? I guess Goldhound's a cool thing to get to discard with Tezzeret. I'm sort of on board for that. I didn't assume that the opponent wanted to do anything about this. Alright, I kind of want that land. So we're going to Tainted Indulgence, drawing 2, discarding the Syncopate. That's a lot of Galvanics. Goodness gracious. What does your emblem do? Whenever an artifact you control becomes tapped, draw a card. Huh. Alright, well, that's probably a concern. Okay, cool. They're just making threats,
No one's coming.
which should be fine. Ooh, going for a 2-turn lethal. Cute. Alright, let's see what we can find. Lier would be stellar. This is actually a spot where that bad casualty counterspell is sort of excellent, because they can sack a 1/1 to counter both of my big scores. But it looks like they don't have another one, which is great for me. So we're just going to get rid of that 4/4. This is still lethal next turn as it stands. Okay. That feels unnecessary because this isn't actually changing the clock at all. I guess maybe it is if you think Call of the Storm Giants is a blocker, which, not wrong. Okay, I was incorrect. It did in fact change the clock because Goldspan Dragon can kill a Tezzeret. I forgot about that.
Savor your little victory while it lasts.
Okay, I guess I should play a lot of big scores. What's the right way to do this? I guess it's like this. I want to keep up Otawara so that I can Otawara the treasure. Unfortunately, this does mean that I have to discard a big score, but we'll probably draw more. Or a Lier. Lier would be cool. Huh. We failed! Oh no. Alright, well, let's go ahead and bounce this treasure in now. Oh, Unexpected Windfall. Perfect. We can take a Tainted Indulgence into that. If we need to. I don't think we're going to need to. I'm going to hope they can't burn me to death, but they might be able to Spikefield burn me to death. They can Prismari burn me to death, huh? Alright, 4, 6, 7. Suppose I should have tried to play around this. Maybe. I don't know. Second Prismari command. Oh no. So I guess I'm looking for another Syncopate. Do I have another Syncopate in the deck? I don't. I don't think I have outs here. Not with this amount of mana. Do they just have a third? Okay. My opponent's entire hand was like super questionable removal burn spells. Fair enough, I guess. Wild and unsure how to feel about that. Okay, well, we're going to bring in the Siphon Insights for this matchup. Hullbreaker Horror seems like it's going to be completely excellent against them. I just want to actually draw it. What's less good? Goldspan Dragon is less good. Syncopate's probably fine. Tainted Indulgence, and I'm probably supposed to trim down on Windfalls because my opponent's going to be boarding into counterspells. There was no way I was surviving that turn without having a Hullbreaker at any point. Although if we had drawn Hullbreaker, I probably would have won. Okay. This is a hand with lands. We could play more Lier. I'm kind of expecting the opponent to board into Disdainful Stroke, though. So I don't necessarily want to play more counterable, expensive sorcery speed spells. I want my opponent to try to play a 3-drop here that I get to Jwari Disruption. Oh, bummer. Okay, well, my opponent's missing land drops and colors. And I just get to play draw go, so that's cool. Sometimes this is how control matches be. Don't want to play Spikefield as a land drop. I probably want to play Spikefield as a land drop. There's very low value to doing so, but okay, well. My opponent can fail to draw red mana, or mana at all. I'm not greedy, I'll take it. I wonder if I should be playing 4 Fading Hopes in this matchup, or if that's a mistake. I'm kind of assuming the opponent is incapable of dealing, or sideboarding out all of their shock effects. Like, I don't think they have enough sideboard cards to do that, so I don't necessarily want to bring in Sedgemoor Witch if it just gets shocked. Yeah, Fading Hope's probably still better. Low numbers of lands is sketchy. Goldspan Dragon and Windfall effects are not great. But Syncopate's high value. I think I'm willing to keep the hand based off that. Immediately draw 7-drop. Alright, well, we could lose this game in the same way the opponent lost the last one. I just want to draw lands. Thank you, deck. Good start. Do I need black mana? There is a pretty strong potential that I need black mana because I have a 2-drop instant that can draw lands. Ooh, Stowaway. That's a huge problem. Especially because I cannot flip it back to night. Or, well, stop it from flipping to night. Right. I don't think I can beat that, unfortunately. I have a lot of removal spells that do deal with it, but unfortunately the only one I had to play as a land. I could have my opponent do some sort of misplay here that gives me an opening to resolve a big score, in which case we're right back into this. Depending on how many answers my opponent has to Hullbreaker Horror, that might be able to take over the game. Oh, yes! Opponent playing Fable of the Mirrorbreaker was one of the best hopes. Alright, no Spell Pierce? No Spell Pierce, meaning this is either a Spikefield Hazard or... what? Some other 1-mana shock effect? Oh no, it's Unlicensed Hearse giving them the priority, isn't it? Is this up to? Yeah, because it could activate for 0 is why they had priority, possibly. Hey Chris, why do you feel the deck needs the black draw spells? I think that the Tainted Indulgence, just being instant speed, is pretty valuable for a Hullbreaker Horror shell, and just Drago control in general. Even if it's not actual card advantage in the same way as Expressive Iteration, or at least I feel like that's something that I'm interested in exploring. And the Siphon Insight post boards are just me, like, memeing around and saying, alright, if I'm going to play Drago control mirrors, Siphon Insight is useful for making land drops. And hard to counter. 3 mana, meaning my opponent could have a hard counter here. Alright, well, we'll pass then. Time to answer everybody's favorite question. Does the blue-red deck have an answer to Hullbreaker Horror? Do I play any Limited? I do on occasion. I enjoy Limited. I don't get the opportunity terribly often to do so. Just because I tend to practice whatever is the upcoming competitive format, and that's not often Limited. Also, limited's really hard. So it takes a lot longer to learn. Okay, so we get some options here. If my opponent has Otawara and bounces Hullbreaker Horror, I probably just lose. But their board state is getting to the point where if I don't play Hullbreaker Horror and just try to play Drago, I think I also lose. So I could try to, like, play Siphon Insight or Big Score. And it's, like, probably just gets countered. If they can bounce Hullbreaker Horror, me not having lands just kind of ends the game. I think I just gotta take the risk. I think this is the highest likelihood to win the game, even though there's a strong possibility I just lose the game instantly. Okay, double Voltage Surge was not the expectation, but very well. Huh. Well, that actually loses them enough mana that I can now play Goldspan Dragon. And it flips back today, which is kind of cool. Alright. Well, we might actually get to play this second Hullbreaker Horror now. How big is this hearse? It's only 3 going up to 5. I'm not necessarily dead yet, huh? Siphon Insight or Seize the Spoils? Seize the Spoils is very bad in the matchups I want to bring in Siphon Insight. The idea behind Siphon Insight is that it's an instant that is powerful on my opponent's turn in Drago Control Mirrors, where I'm playing against counter magic. That's where I want to bring it in. Those are explicitly matchups where discard effects that only draw when the card draw actually resolves are very bad and are inherently 2-for-1s. So Seize the Spoils being a card that has that same downside of being super weak against counter magic and also being sorcery speed makes it, like, extremely not what I want in those scenarios. Alright, so we got a 2-turn clock, which is scary. But we're going to have more mana, because the Goldspan Dragon has not been answered yet, which means I can play Hullbreaker Horror to block the Hearse and Flameless Bolt to bounce something. I was really hoping to draw a land. Okay. And we're probably now in the territory where, because I can only play 1 spell with Hullbreaker Horror, I'm probably going to wind up going to 2 and then dying to Shocks. But, yeah, it's rough. Lack of Burn Down on the list surprised me. It kills all my 5-drops. I've never really liked Burn Down the House at all. But I'm also not a very big fan of board wipes in general when I can play instant speed spells instead. All of my lands are single-colored, so I can't play Hullbreaker Horror, leaving up Tainted Indulgence. They did not fire up Den of the Bugbear, which is delightful to see. Should I Flame Blessed Bolt targeting the Seafaring Werewolf? The downside of that is that if they counter the Flame Blessed Bolt, I can't really do anything about it. They can do 3 damage currently to the Hullbreaker Horror to kill it. I could just Flame Blessed Bolt the Seafaring Werewolf and bounce it anyway. I'm supposed to take the 2 damage and use the Flame Blessed Bolt to protect the Hullbreaker Horror. Yeah, I think so. Certainly pretty dicey, but I suspect it's correct. Well, no, I was denying them a treasure and the draw. The draw I was okay with. Maybe I should have actually denied the treasure, though, rather than holding up Flame Blessed Bolt. Okay. Well, so far I feel rewarded for that choice. They can't play Shatter Skull again to kill Horror. Sweet! I don't know how we keep winning. But I'll take it.